Hi everyone, it's John here. Today we're going to take a detailed look at just how effective the Daly Smart BMS app works in controlling your Daly K-Series red Smart BMS devices. The app enables you to control and adjust all the various functions and parameters on your DalyBMS and enables you to customize it exactly to suit your particular operating requirements. So join me now and let's have a look at the app and go through all its features and functions. After you've downloaded the Daly Smart BMS app onto your mobile device, you'll get a screen similar to this one here, but it will give you the option to create an account. Now obviously I've already created my account, so I get this particular screen showing my email address and the option to log out or cancel the account. Now at the moment I'm set to Wi-Fi connection, but you can on the screen switch to local monitoring, which goes via Bluetooth. So for the moment we're going to come out of this screen and we're going to have a look at the two devices on here. I've got my Daly Red BMS, which is fitted into one of the 60 volt battery packs. I've also got a 48 volt fat bike with, and also with the Daly BMS Smart BMS. So this particular one here, this page gives you the list of any devices that you've already got registered on Wi-Fi in the Daly app. So for this one we're going to go to the big scooter Daly Red BMS and we click on the link, and this will bring you to the status display screen where it connects to the BMS in the battery pack and gives you the overall view of the battery pack, showing at the moment we're on 63.5 volts. We're not obviously showing any current drain because we're not using it, capacity remaining, and then down below it gives you the maximum voltage of a cell string, one of the 16 cell strings, the minimum voltage of the one of the 16 cell strings, average voltage, voltage difference, and it will tell you number of cycles and power drained if we were using the battery, which we're not at the moment. Tells you that we've also got two temperature sensors connected, which one showing 29, 131. I've put these sensors at either end of the battery pack, so there's a slight variance in temperature across them, and then it shows you the temperature inside the BMS unit itself. And then down below here we've got it shows 16 battery strings, and it gives you the voltage of each of the battery strings, highlighting the highest voltage in red and the lowest voltage string in blue. And then it gives you the serial number, software version, hardware version, and SN code. So that's the main status screen. Now there's a button here called Active Balance. Now this is available when you either have the optional active battery balancer connected to your red Daly BMS, or you have the Daly Blue BMS, which has the active battery balancer built into the BMS. So I have both. This one is running without the active battery balancer, and the other pack has the battery balancer in. So we'll go into that more in a moment. And then the box over here, parameters setting. Now this is the important one, so we'll click on this. The first column gives you protection parameters. So this is where you can set all these various parameters exactly how you want. Now the defaults in here are slightly different. I've changed them. The single cell high voltage protection default for lithium ion cells, which is what we're using obviously in this instance, is 4.2 volts, but I charge my batteries normally to approximately 85% state of charge, which is 4 volts per cell. So my maximum pack voltage times 16 is 64 volts, which I've set here, the high voltage protection at 64. Going back up here, I've set the single cell low voltage protection at 3.2 volts. So obviously if the voltage drops to 3.2 or below, it will cut out the battery pack and stop working. I've got the sum low voltage protect 51 volts, so that's the sum of the 16 strings. Differential pressure alarm, so you get an alarm come up on the display showing the voltage difference between strings if it's greater than 0.8 of a volt. Mine normally runs at about 0.3 to 0.2, so I'm well under this, but if you go to 0.8 you'll get an alarm. And you've got charge over current protection and discharge over current protection, so you can set these again to whatever you like as your preference. I've left them as standard as the factory setting. The next box is cell characteristics. So you've got type of battery, and you can change this to LFP, LTO or lithium ion. Now I'm on lithium ion, so that's what we're set at. You enter your rated capacity of your pack, total capacity. Cell reference voltage, I've run that at 3.7, which is what's generally recognised as the reference voltage for a lithium ion 18650 battery. Sleep waiting time, this basically says after 3600 seconds the BMS will go into sleep mode, and it's woken up if you charge or discharge the battery. So if you power up your bike, and the minute it powers up, it will switch the BMS back on. State of charge set, you can adjust the percentage state of charge. Mine's running at 99.4, which is a default from the battery voltage currently against my 20 amp hour rated capacity. Balanced open start voltage 4 volts. That means that when the batteries are 4 volts or below, it will start to balance the cells. So if you're charging your battery pack as normal with your normal 60 volt battery charger, when it gets on my settings to 4 volts, it will actually stop charging the highest voltage pack at 4 volts per string, and it will then carry on balancing the strings below 4 volts until it brings them all up to 4 volts. Now this is the thing I really like, because I don't like charging all my battery packs to 4.2 volts every time. So now I've set it at 4 volts, about 85% state of charge, so I can just plug the charger in and let the system work, no worries. When it gets to 4 volts on the first string, as I say, the balancer will come into play on the BMS, and it will gradually balance all the strings up to close as possible to 4 volts. And I've got the balance open differential voltage set at 0.01 volts, so it'll balance it to that tolerance. This is particularly good. This is what I really like about this, being able to select your state of charge, which is absolutely marvelous. Cell board, I call this collect board settings. You don't really change this other than make sure that you've got the number of cell strings correct. Mine's obviously a 16 cell pack, so 16 string pack, so I'm 16S, so that should be reading 16, which it is. And then the only other thing is you have to run at least one temperature sensor, which is provided. The one temperature sensor NTC plug actually terminates in 2 sensors, so you can measure the temperature in 2 places. So I've got board number 1, two temperature sensors. You can actually run another 2 temperature sensors on board 2 or board 3. So, but I'm only running 2 sensors. So if you had extra sensors, you would load them into here so that they will show up on the status display. Temperature protection, you can set your charge high temperature protection. And as I say, you can change all these parameters by putting your preferred value in the box here and hitting setup. So if I wanted to change that, I can click enter. I can put in, say I wanted 50 volts, 50C. I can enter that, click setup, have to put my password, which I'm using the default at the moment. So now what will happen is, now you see I've changed the high temperature protection to 50C. So I'm going to go back and change that to the default, which is fine, 60 set up. And it's gone back to 60. Now you can do this with all of these boxes. So I've got the charge low temperature protection, the discharge high temp protection, the discharge low temp protection, differential temperature protection, fan on temperature, and heating on temperature. So you can actually heat the batteries, heat the BMS, or you can have the fan come on if it gets too hot or too cold. And finally, the parameter setting, I don't change any of this. Communication setting, this is for connecting to your computer. You've got CAN bus or RS485. So here you've got how the BMS is operating. I've got my charge switch on, so if I turn that off, it means if I connect the charger, nothing will happen. The BMS won't accept the charge. Discharge switch, and this is handy. If you turn off your discharge switch, this effectively turns the BMS off, so it's a great security feature. It means whatever anyone does, unless they've got the app and your password to sign in, they can't turn on the BMS, so the bike is, or the scooter, or your electronic device is disabled. I've got the heating switch turned off, so I don't need that in Thailand, it's too hot already. You've got data upload switch, so I've got mine turned on, so I can upload data. One click strong start, it's default turned on. You don't need to turn that off. BMS software upgrade, so you can upgrade the BMS. Alarm data reporting, so if there's a problem and you need to speak to support, you can press escalation and you can email the actual full report to customer support at Daly, who can read it and then assist you in rectifying the problem. Finally, at the bottom, you've got restart, factory data reset, zero drift current calibration. Now mine's perfect, and you can reset your password. So that's basically all the settings. So if I go back here and go to status display, we'll go back to that front screen. Now this is the screen you normally leave on, and this just shows you all the overall parameters of what's happening with your battery pack. Now the good thing is that you have the option with Daly on the Red BMS series to either have a Bluetooth module which plugs in to the UART port on the BMS, and this enables you to communicate via Bluetooth, which is directly to your mobile device, or you can buy a combined Wi-Fi and Bluetooth module which plugs into a UART port just the same, and that enables you to connect via your home Wi-Fi router to your smart BMS. So when you're at home or away from home, as long as you have an internet connection, you can view everything that's happening with the status of your battery pack, which is absolutely marvelous. And then when you leave home and you come out of your Wi-Fi system, the Bluetooth connection will kick in, and then you are connected locally, as they call it. So you have all the same parameters, you have all the same readouts, you have the same status display, and you can do everything exactly the same, except you are connected via Bluetooth instead of Wi-Fi. So this is marvelous. I love this because when I'm out riding, I can see everything that's happening with the battery pack. When I'm at home, I can connect it back via Wi-Fi, and wherever I am at home or away from home, I can at any time monitor the state of the battery pack. So this is excellent, and this is everything that you can do with the Daly Red Series Smart BMSs using the app.